Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to yet another episode of Before the Free Count. I am your host with the most, Charlie Crick, and of course we are here to go over all the wrestling news in the world right now and talk about what's going on. Before we start, I just want to say I'm very sorry we have lagged and had a couple of weeks off. Didn't mean for that to happen. It was just a lot of stuff was going on. We just didn't have time to film, but we're back, we're here, and we're ready to go. So, roll the thing.
Are you ready?
We are Before the Free Count. Wrestling for the fans, by the fans.
The number one podcast for the latest on Raw, SmackDown, all pay-per-views. My name's Charlie. I've been a wrestling fan since I was the age of 15. And over the last 5 years, I've gone on the most insane journey. We go through everything, analysing every moment. Welcome to Before the Free Count. So come along and let's go. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to yet another episode of Before the Free Count. As I said before, my name is Charlie Crick. I'm your host with the most, as always. And yeah, we've got a lot to unpack today, because since I last spoke to you guys, we've had Clash in Paris. We've had a return of one of the most well-known female wrestling stars in the world. We had John Cena's last ever SmackDown. And of course, we're now building up to wrestlepoloza, which is 2 weeks this Saturday. So, where should we start? I think we should start with the biggest news, okay? So on Friday night, we all knew it was coming after what happened at Clash in Paris, where one of the people that has now joined Seth Rollins' group is, of course, his mighty wife, Becky Lynch, who attacked CM Punk and stopped him from winning last Sunday in Clash in Paris and helped Seth Rollins retain the title as always. It was brilliant. And then, of course, the week later, the following Monday, we had the moment where she just slapped the crap out of him, really. And, she was saying, you can't do anything, and made it basically like, yeah, we know what's coming. Yeah, we could tell from, the beginning. But here we go. So we knew we kind of knew who was going to come back. Just from, Becky getting involved. And, of course, CM Punk went on Monday Night Raw after the slap attack from her and said, your husband's going to regret ever getting you involved, and you're going to regret ever putting your hands on me. And, of course, in the Friday night SmackDown that we have just had, of course, Seth Rollins was in the audience. We had Becky Lynch in the ring, and, he was, talking like, you can't do anything, da-da-da-da-da. And then, of course, CM Punk went, I can't do anything, but I know someone that can. And AJ Lee, I just thought, because I had it out, the autograph, because it came with the Wrestle Crate this month, AJ Lee has returned to WWE after nearly a decade away. CM Punk's wife is back. So we're heading towards, it's got to be a double tag team match, or, something like that. Both titles on the line from Seth and Becky, maybe, in a tag team match. Or two separate ones. It's got to be something like that we've got coming up. And yeah, I think it's going to work perfectly. It's going to put AJ Lee in a really good slot. Do I think that Punk's going to win? Maybe. I don't know. I can see this running through until next WrestleMania now. And Punk winning there. Because we're at that time of the year now where you're going to build up stories that will, it will hold its place. If anyone's going to change a title, they're going to do it now within the next 2 months. If we're going towards WrestleMania season, which I know to some people doesn't seems ages away, but what you got to remember is you've got WrestlePalooza, then you've got Survivor Series, and then the last one that I'm aware of is on December the 17th or something like that, which is John Cena's last match, and I think that could be a Saturday night main event. I think. I could be wrong. But there really isn't that many. And then, of course, like, there'll be shows over Christmas and stuff like that. But then we're building up to the Royal Rumble, which, again, this year, that's pushed back till, I think, February again. So, you know, they've then got to do all the build-up for that. Of course, with that being said, the tag team titles and some of the other titles, like the US title, Intercontinental title, stuff like that, I can see changing hand. But the, you know, like the big ones, like the Women's World Heavyweight and the Undisputed World Champion, them two titles particularly, I don't see changing after them two pay-per-views, personally. So it'll be really interesting to see where we are, especially after WrestlePalooza, because are they really going to change them 1 month after? I don't think they will. I think there will be a really good Survivor Series match this year, though. I think we all know where it's, you know, the lineup's going to be. And I think it's getting quite obvious now. We're going to have Seth Rollins' group versus CM Punk and a few of the others. And then, of course, there's always going to be... I mean, there could be another Roman one. It wouldn't surprise me. But it's interesting because we're at a point where we've got AJ and Becky involved in this now. Will it be a mix gender max in both Survivor Series matches? I don't know. But yes, of course, that's the major news that's come out this weekend, that AJ Lee is back. It's so good to have her back. Long time coming. And by the way, something that really shocked me was the fact that it's been nearly 3 years since Punk came back. How the hell has it been nearly 3 years, by the way? Like, what? I know. So moving on, we're going to go on to, well, a side story now that I've been really enjoying. We have Charlotte Flair is not cleared, is cleared, I don't know. She's not cleared in the story since Alexa and Charlotte lost their tag team titles at, I think it was Clash in Paris. It might have been the Friday Night SmackDown before. So, you know, they're on the hunt to get them back. I'm loving the work these two are doing. I think it's absolutely fantastic. I knew this was going to be good from the moment it started, but I didn't think it was going to be as good as it's going. You know, it's not being really pushed. Like, it's not the main subject within the women's division, which is a really nice thing to see. And I think this is something that they could push potentially to go on for quite a while. What do I see coming of it? Again, it's kind of that weird time at the moment where we could potentially be seeing stories start crafting towards what could become Mania stories. You know, it's a really... I don't like this time of the year in wrestling. I'm going to be absolutely honest. I really don't like this time of the year in wrestling because they're trying to, 1, wrap things up, 2, put things together, and 3, have a way of doing it so it makes sense for now for the payoff to be like another 6 months away. Which I guess, you know, is a good thing. But at the same time, for us that are watching on the weekly basis, it's not as entertaining because you know it's not going to be something that's resolved within the next pay-per-view. You know, that's just the way it is. So, yeah, it'll be interesting to see, but I don't think that this is going to end anytime soon. But at the same time, it will be interesting to see where we are by November in this story. I personally think they're still going to be... they're going to get the champs back, the championship belts back. I'll hold on to them for quite a while, and I've just got a feeling something will happen at the Rumble. And we'll go from there. But I'm not going to go into that now because, you know, as I just said, miles off. But let's go from there. Hey, whilst we're here, let's have a quick catch up on what you guys thought of Clash in Paris. I loved it. I thought it was really, really good. I loved the Roman match. I thought the Roman match was spectacular. So good. Paid off in so many ways. I loved the Sheamus and Rusev match. That was so good. Oh my god, that was so good. Such a brilliant match. And of course, the finale match, was it a triple threat or a fatal four-way? I can't remember. But that was brilliant as well. One thing I've noticed that I think at the beginning of the year I got quite frustrated with, but now I kind of understand it a lot better, is you look at Jey Uso, he doesn't need a title. His walk on, his entrance is his title. You know, the fact that he can do that day in, day out at every single event, every Monday Night Raw, every SmackDown, every pay-per-view, every live event throughout the week they do in all the different states and the countries. You know, they were over here recently, obviously, because of the build-up to Clash. There was quite a few shows in the UK. I think Raw was in Birmingham, yeah. And, you know, it was brilliant to see, you know, how far he has come in the last year. And it's been a real interesting one for Jey this year because, you know, he had the major push at the Royal Rumble. And then there was quite a bit of, you know, back and forth between him headlining and not really headlining. He opened the show and all of that, and he won, and it was great. And then he only kept the championship for I think about a month and a half, and then that was really frustrating to see. But the way he still maintained that energy and maintained that, you know, same work ethic that he's had the whole time, and just showing I'm going to put the same much amount in today at a live event that I'm going to put in to WrestleMania. You know, I just wanted to point that out because when I was watching the match, I just know it's not that I hadn't noticed. It's just when you look at something and you see the full thing that from where he started to where he is now within the year, it's just been incredible to see. It's absolutely incredible. But going back to the match itself, it was spectacular. Absolutely spectacular. I didn't see the running coming. I saw. Here's what I'll say. I saw something was obviously going to happen, you know, within the last 20 minutes of the match. It kind of became obvious that there was more to this. I've filmed my reaction. So what I will do is I'll probably see if Peter can put this in here and show my reaction, as if it makes sense. So maybe we'll go straight to that now. Who was it? Who was it? Who was it? Didn't see that coming. But fair play. Okay. So Becky came in to help her husband. So as you see from my reaction, it made sense, but it was a bit confusing because I was like, is she part of... it was never made clear if she was just there to support her husband or if she was actually a part of the alliance. Sorry for whacking the mic then. It's obviously become clear now that she's part of the alliance. And that's the whole reason it all happened. Thus the reason why, you know, the AJ Lee things happen now. And, you know, this was all clearly all in the works from quite a while. I'd probably say before SummerSlam, they made this decision to, like, if we're going to go down this route, this is the way we're going to do it. Which I think was really, really good. but yeah, the way they pulled it off, I wouldn't say it wasn't good. It was. I'd say it was a little bit confusing considering how shocking and obvious some of the others had been this year. Like, don't get me wrong, some of the moments we've had this year have just been phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. I thought Clash was a brilliant event. I've really enjoyed watching it. And, you know, I don't know if they're going to do it again now. They're definitely going to be returning to Paris, or just generally France. The crowd over there is just incredible. So well done to everyone that was there and everyone that showed why shows like this should be international yet again. Time and time again, it's just been proven over the last few years, you know, that these crowds, the international crowds, the European crowds, Australia, UK as well, you know, Spain as well, you know, all these places have just been screaming out for these big pay-per-view events. And I think in the last 3 years, since we started doing them properly, nearly 5 years, I'd say, actually, because Clash was the first, Clash at the Castle, which was in Wales originally, was the first big one. So, you know, it's about 5 years now that, you know, we've seen this development happen. I think that we are at a position where I think we can guarantee at least 3 international shows a year now, which is such a nice thing to think, you know, that we're going to have 3 international pay-per-views. And, you know, let's keep it going. You know, we're doing 11 a year. Why don't we do, you know, at least 5 of them over here, you know, over outside of America. And I think they are slowly building towards that, which is a great thing to see, you know. And it's, you know, again, it goes back to the fans. If it wasn't for you guys, if it wasn't for people showing how much they wanted them events over there, they wouldn't be happening. And if they wasn't going over as well as they did, they wouldn't be coming back there. I think the only problem they've got majorly at the moment, WWE, and I think I've spoken about this before, is they are just pricing fans out at the moment. Thus the reason why people are going to, you know, TNA and AEW and Progress and Rev Pro and stuff like that. It's just going to happen. You price your fans out, they're going to go to the alternative. And it's nice that we have that. Very quickly on that, All In. Oh my God, what a show. I know I don't talk about AEW very much on here, but All In this year was absolutely spectacular. I just thought every year, I've never known that show not to have a good show. It's been spectacular year after year after year. To me, that is AEW's WrestleMania, All In. It's, you know, I know a lot of people prefer Double or Nothing, but no, All In is AEW's WrestleMania, and every year they knock it out of the park. And they did again this year. They absolutely did again this year, and it was phenomenal how good it was. I loved so many of the matches on the card. The main event was just so good. Oh my God, Will Ospreay. It wasn't All In. That's not what I was talking about. It was Forbidden Door. I apologise. We had a different one this year. We had Forbidden Door. All In was fantastic as well, by the way. No, sorry, I apologise. Forbidden Door, this couple of weekends ago, that was spectacular. Will Ospreay, take a bow, man. That was incredible. There's been a few others that have been brilliant. Progress has been fantastic recently. So has Rev Pro. And Rev Pro made a massive announcement the other day for their 14th anniversary show, which will be next August. I want to say it's the 26th. I could be wrong. But they're headlining Wembley Arena. That's insane. That's insane that Rev Pro are doing Wembley Arena. That's 15,000 seats. It's just incredible. To see these promotions go into these major venues, it's just a really good time to be a wrestling fan, I think, at the moment, especially in the UK. I've got to put it out there that in the UK, the wrestling scene is just thriving. I mean, I live in an area where there's not a lot of general events. There's been 2 wrestling shows in my town in the last 6 months. We were lucky if we got one every 3 years, about 2-3 years ago. Maybe 4. And we've had 2 in the last 6 months. And that's in my local town. It's doing so well at the moment, wrestling. And the British scene is just incredible. Absolutely incredible. You've got so many amazing promotions out there. You've got Progress, you've got Rev Pro, you've got Future Shock, you've got Slam Stars. There's so many out there that are just kicking ass at the moment. GCW, it's Defy, all these places. It's so nice to see so many amazing wrestling companies do so well at the moment. But yeah, I just had to give a quick shout out to that and to AEW. There's like my little pause there to go into that and just say that it's been a phenomenal summer for wrestling fans, and hopefully that will keep going well on through the winter and well on through to next year, 2026 as well. So yeah, there you go. That was a very positive part there. I didn't even expect to go into that. Anyway, let's move to the next subject. So moving on, of course, we have WrestlePalooza coming up in 2 weeks, which is going head-to-head against AEW All Out, both on the 20th of September. I think this is really interesting. I'm not over the moon that WWE have done this, to be honest, because you're literally... I haven't got a problem with there being competition. I have not got there being a problem with competition. But the fact that they've literally created this event to go up against them, I kind of felt like, oh, come on, have a week off, really? Really, what we're going to do next? What we're going to do next? Are we going to move Raw to a Wednesday? So we're going up against, Dynamite, really? It's just... I don't know. It's one of those where I'm excited. It's going to be a good event. But then again, even though I don't talk about it on here, I've got to pick which one I'm going to watch live and which one I'm going to watch back. And I'm going to have to pick the WWE one to pick, even though All Out looks phenomenal at the moment. But anyway, that is what we're building towards in the next couple of weeks. So it should be brilliant. But, again, very interesting that we're doing that. Of course, on that, sorry to take a bit of time out in the vlog for you, but I wanted to talk about our sponsor, the amazing WrestleCrate, as you may have heard here. What is a WrestleCrate? Well, let me tell you. WrestleCrate is a monthly subscription box for people like you, that love wrestling. What do you get in this box, you're probably wondering? Well, let me show you. Autographs from people like Daniel Bryan, Lita, Godfather, DDP, Kane, Sting, the Hardy Boys. Well, what else do you get? Well, maybe you'll get a cool poster like this one, cool key rings, even pretty cool Lucha Libre puzzles like this. Cool pins like these, and you also get awesome t-shirt just like all of these. It's the best part, because you come through us before the free count, you can get yourself a free WrestleCrate with your first order just by going to www.wrestlecrate.co.uk and using the code BTTC, and you get a free box with your first order. How awesome does that sound? So what are you doing sticking around here? Go and get yourself one. We have a main event to talk about. And because of that, I'm going to go back to SmackDown that we just had this weekend. And of course, John Cena made his last ever appearance on Friday Night SmackDown this Friday that we just had. Which is kind of weird to say that that's it. We're never going to see... We'll probably see John Cena on a SmackDown, but we won't ever see him, like, fighting in the ring or, anything like that. It's really weird because we've all known that it's been coming with Cena this year. Like, from the get-go, we've known this has been coming. But it's literally like 6 dates left, which is kind of terrifying to think about, that we've only got 6 events left with John Cena. And he's had a phenomenal year. Some people have judged it a bit, for being a bit all over the place, which I can get. Some things paid off the way they wanted to, some things didn't pay off so much the way they wanted them to. But all round, I think it's been phenomenal. We've had his last ever WrestleMania. He became the 17th champion. He's, appeared at every single pay-per-view. There's people that are on the roster that don't even get to appear at every single pay-per-view. And he's doing all that whilst filming 2 films in the background and just released the 2nd season of Peacemaker. I don't think the man's had a day off all year. And I'm being serious. He's not stopped the whole year. And the fact that we're 6 shows away from him being done, or 6 appearances, whatever you want to call it, away, it's kind of sad. It really is. We've known it's going to be coming to an end, but the fact that it's coming to an end a lot quicker than, I thought it would. Around, WrestleMania, SummerSlam time, I thought, we still got loads of time. And then ever since then, it's kind of just gone like that. And we really are at, like, endgame now, which is so sad, because he's just such a phenomenal guy that we've had within the industry for so long. But yes, going back to it, of course, we've got Brock Lesnar versus John Cena at WrestlePalooza on Saturday the 20th of September. Obviously will be the main event, and it's going to be a banger. It's going to be so good. The thing that I'm quite interested by is the fact that this was his last SmackDown, but he's still got to do, the promo for this one, then Survivor Series, if he's at Survivor Series, which I'm 99% sure at this stage he will be, because, he's been at every other pay-per-view this year. And then his last fight, I just find it very interesting that was his last SmackDown, and he hasn't even got that many Raw dates left, to be honest. I think there's about 2, maybe 3, but I don't even think it's 3. So the promo side to this is going to be very interesting. Now, having said that, they've said appearances, as in he will be there. I think a lot of it will be him sending videos in for the rest of this now, because you can't build up a fight without something, happening, some way of building the story, and you do it on the weekly shows. So I think that we're going to be like, I'm out here filming at the moment, but I just thought whilst I'm here I'd send a message to you, Brock, something like that. But yeah, that's where we are. It's really interesting that we're 6 appearances away. Speaking of people that are away at the moment, we haven't seen Cody for quite a while. I don't think we've seen much of him since he won the title at SummerSlam, to be honest. He definitely wasn't at Clash in Paris. It came to my attention he hasn't even defended the title yet. He's out filming the Street Fighter film, or Mortal Kombat film. It's one or the other. I do apologise. I know I've probably offended some fans there. I know it's one of the other guys, okay? and he's filming that at the moment. And of course, Roman Reigns is also in that film, so he's out there filming as well. So when we're going to see Cody again, I don't know, but I just thought that'd be interesting to mention that, you know, them two are, they're not out of action, but, you know, they're not going to be appearing for, I think it's a 3-4 week shoot, maybe 5. So they're definitely not going to be at, you know, wrestlepoloza, or maybe they are, actually, if you think about it. If they're going to keep on doing these shock surprises, maybe one of them will be Cody returning. Maybe. I don't know. Which would be good, because that could actually build up to a Brock-Cody rematch, which would be amazing. But let's be honest, ever since Brock's come back, we all know the 3 fights we want to see. We want to see Brock versus Gunther. We want to see Brock versus Braun Strowman. And we want to see Brock versus Bronson Reed. Did I say Braun Strowman? I meant Bron Breakker. And then, of course, against Bronson Reed. They're the ones we want to see, if anything, to start with. So, yeah, they're going to, you know, be major fights. But, you know, Cody's got to come. Well, of course he will come back. But it might be at wrestlepalooza, but I don't think it will be. Just thought I'd throw that out there as well. And the last thing I'm going to cover today is that ever since one of the last videos I did, we've had it kind of confirmed that Karrion Kross isn't part of WWE anymore. I remember doing that video and was really convinced that, you know, he was still part of them. It was going to be part of the story. But he's not. You know, he genuinely is on the indies now. And he's doing Comic-Cons and he's doing events. And the reason why I mentioned that is because it was confirmed this Thursday, I believe it was, that Karrion Kross and Scarlett will be appearing at both days of the Europe's biggest wrestling convention for the love of wrestling. We're going to put the picture up here. Ta-da! So yes, Karrion Kross and Scarlett will be appearing up for the love of wrestling in Manchester later next year in February. I'm really excited because I'll be going to that. And I think to get those two is major. And he's probably one of the hottest people on the indie scene right now. They've also got people like Matt Cardona's going to be there. Kurt Angle's going to be there. Soraya's going to be there. Who else is going to be there? Let me think. The Iconics are going to be there. We've got Orange Cassidy is going to make an appearance. We've got the Sandman appearing. There's so many other people appearing across that weekend. So if you're into your wrestling and you live in the UK, look up this, because I know that quite a few people are aware of this. I go every year, saying that I didn't go last year because we were preparing for going to Mania, but I'll be there this year. And yeah, it's going to be amazing. But I thought I'd give these guys a little promo here and just say, go and get your tickets for the love of wrestling, because, you know, the full lineup's out now. I don't believe they're going to be announcing any more for what they've said. But if you look at that lineup and who we've got, it's going to be a great year. We're going to be there in February. You know, get your tickets, come along, meet some of your favourite wrestling stars. It's going to be amazing. But yes, Karrion Kross and Scarlett will be there for both days. It's brilliant. Oh, that's it. Eric Bischoff. Eric Bischoff's going to be there as well. The head of WCW. You know, that legend is going to be there. And he's also doing an evening with. So he's doing like a talk night on the Friday. So, you know, if you're interested in that, maybe come along to that one as well. But I thought I'd give this a shout out before the end of today, because I just thought that, you know, one, it's relevant, and two, it's coming to the UK, guys. They're coming to the UK, and it's going to be awesome. It's going to be absolutely awesome, and I'll be there. So, you know, that's also another reason to come. But no, on all seriousness, Karrion Kross and Scarlett are definitely on the indie scene and making appearances, including this one at For the Love of Wrestling in Manchester next February. So boys and girls, that is it for today. Thank you so much for watching. I know it's been a bit of a short one, but of course we are back hopefully to normal schedule now. I do want to apologise again for being busy. It's just been one of those times where we just haven't had time to put the videos together. I hope you've enjoyed it. We will see you again next week. What's going to be happening with AJ Lee and Becky Lynch and CM Punk and Seth Rollins. Who else is going to get announced for WrestlePalooza? When are we going to see Charlotte and Alexa back? And are there going to be any more surprises on the tour for John Cena as he comes to the end of his farewell tour? All that and more will be on next week's video. Remember to follow us online on our socials and on our TikTok page. We've got a few things coming up soon. Thanks so much for watching. We will see you next week. See ya.